Hello, everybody. Nice to see you once more. This is Mr. C, the informal spectator. Today, we are going to talk about UFC, Taira versus Park. Now, this was originally supposed to be Albazi versus Taira, and it got switched up at the last moment. Now, let's get ready to get some terrible predictions and picks from yours truly. You can see the poster is up, and it looks like they spent about 3 minutes creating it. Now let's jump right at the bottom. We have Pira Rodriguez versus Ketlin Souza. I think I've seen Ketlin Souza fight before. I have no idea about Pira Rodriguez, and she is the favorite. I'm going to go with Ketlin Souza. That's one underdog. Next up, we got Felipe Bunes or Bunes, I don't know, versus Rafael Esteban. I'm gonna go with Estevam. He just missed weight like he did versus Charles Johnson, so he should get it done. We have Bashi versus John Yanis. I'm going with the big favorite Bashi. Although it would be hilarious if Giannis won, so I'm gonna be rooting for him. Up next, we have the big ol' Sean O'Malley versus the Russian. That looks like every other Russian. Looks like they were pick'ems. Now Puliev's the favorite. I'm gonna go with Nick Klein. They both didn't look great in their last fights, but I think they both have a chance of winning. So I'll pull with the dog, Nick Klein. Would not be surprised if the more experienced Puliev got it done though. Up next we got Vieira versus Gore. I'm gonna have to go with Vieira. He is the favorite. A lot of people are picking Gore though because Vieira looks like crap when he fights. But I'm gonna go with Vieira. I'm not siding with what everybody else is picking, but Gore is a good dog. I would go with Gore if not everyone was picking him. I'm not sure why Vieira is the favorite, but they're both not the best fighters. Now, up next, we got Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletchmeister, the Fletchman Fletcher. I'm gonna have to pick Rinya. Japan's gonna get it done. Let's go, Japan. Up next, we got Danny Silva versus Kevin Balejos. Now, Kevin Balejos has a really nice style. I think he personally reminds me a lot of Ilya Topuria in his fight style, his stance, his boxing, but he does swing wilder than Topuria. Topuria's boxing is a little crispier, doesn't have as much fat on his punches. He doesn't have to swing for the bleachers every time because he knows he has power. Vallejo's, he swings wild, and I think that Danny Silva is going to be for a rough night because he keeps his hands down. But Danny Silva's a pretty big dog. Vallejos has faced the better competition in what was it? Is it John Silver that he fought? Let me double check that. It was John Silver, right? Gian Silva, yeah. So that was definitely the better competition. He lost that unanimous decision, but I'm pretty sure it was a war, go back and forth scrap, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm getting that one wrong. But that's definitely the best fighter that either of the two have faced. But recently, I think Danny Silva's faced a better competition in his last couple of fights, and Vallejos has kind of gotten some easier matchups. I think Danny Silva could get this done. I'm rooting for Vallejos. I think Vallejos will get it done. I think Vallejos will knock out Danny Silva, but I'm picking Danny Silva to get it done. He's probably going to keep his hands down and get KO'd, but these are just fun picks for me to go by. Up next, we have Elezio Zaleski dos Santos versus Neil Magny. Zaleski is the favorite. I'm going to be picking the dog, Neil Magny. I think Neil Magny could have one last vintage performance, and Zaleski ain't been the same since he got off the roids. And up next, we got Nora Cornole or Nora Cornole in French, I guess, versus Carol Hosa. This one, uh, don't really care too much about it. Let's go with another dog. Let's go with Cornell. Up next, we got Esteban Ribovic versus Elvis Brenner. I think this is going to be a tough fight for Brenner. He got a lucky KO a couple fights back against whatever his name was from that trains with Kamzat, the Chechen or Dagestani from Sweden or whatever it was. He's just like Kamzat, but not like him at all. I think Brenner has a chance of getting a KO and sparking Ribovic, but I'm gonna go with Esteban Ribovic, the favorite. He got into that fight of the year almost, fight of the night for sure in UFC Noche with dude that just fought last week. Was it Prado or no Zellhuber? For some reason, I get Esteban Ribovic and Prado confused. I mix them up for some reason. I'm going to go with Ribovic. Up next, we have Chris Duncan versus Mateusz Rąbecki. Chris Duncan has a good chance of winning. I'm going to go with Rąbecki. He's got a lot of power. He's got submissions. He is probably the more well-rounded fighter. And last but certainly not least, we have undefeated Hyun-Sung Park versus Tatsuro Taira. I believe that Hyun-Sung Park does have a good chance of winning. I gotta go with my Japanese boys, my Nippon men. I'm gonna go with Tatsuro Taira to finish. No, I'm just gonna go with decision over Hyun-Sung Park. So that wraps up the UFC Fight Night. Taira versus Park. And I believe this will be the greatest UFC event of all time. If you don't believe me, then watch it and then watch it again and then watch it a third time and let me know if it was terrible or not. All right, you guys, I gotta go because my computer is breaking